sul tavolo. La sua è un'arte astratta che dimostra quello che lei prova, quindi ogni quadro è diverso perché ogni minuto si prova una cosa diversa. Complimenti Monica ad essere venuta da Torino. Al cavalletto numero 4 abbiamo Angelina Sansone, che anche lei già ha partecipato. La mia arte è considerata oscura ed emotiva, il mio proposito è quello di trasferire emozioni e sensazioni attraverso le mie opere. Io ho visto alcune opere che non sono assolutamente oscure, lei le definisce così, sarete voi i giudici e vedrete cosa gli proporrà oggi. Complimenti. Francesca Boschini Matera al cavalletto numero 5. La mia arte si ispira alle mie radici brasiliane, colorata, piena di energie, esprime la libertà che è la base della mia vita. Anche lei non dipingerà sul cavalletto, ma insomma dove uno può dipingere come vuole. Anche lei ha tanto da dire, anche perché anche lei è una mista come sono io, quindi culture miste di solito sprigionano cose un po' particolari, ma ovviamente senza togliere niente a chi è puramente genovese, ci mancherebbe altro. Ultima ma non di importanza, Cristina al cavalletto numero 6. Lei insegna nuoto, dipinge da quando ha 6 anni, dimenticandosi tutto il resto, così mi ha detto di dire, giusto? Ritrattista, fumettista, e direi che possiamo fare un enorme applauso a tutti i primi 6. Ricordo che hanno 20 minuti, ma direi che è abbastanza palese visto che c'è uno schermo enorme. Mr. DJ, are you ready? Más o menos?
Non cascare,
Quindi facciamo un conto alla rovescia, tutti insieme. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, al paddle!
And we have just done our first round model in Genoa, Italy. We have some very exciting artists in round number 1. We can see actually that Monica is doing quite the dance with her palette, with her canvas already. Looks like she's got the canvas covered in some water, and she was kind of twirling it and dancing it around, I think, to spread the water droplets. So I think that we can expect a really exciting level of performance, especially from Monica. And I believe that this is Francesca. And here we are moving over to Christina. And Christina has this gorgeous blue color field going. And then, of course, Giuseppe laying down some very expressive painterly black marks there. And we're seeing quite a lot of orange going down onto that canvas. Now back with Monica, and Monica is fully dancing as well. She is fully dancing as she's performing this painting, and I think that really is what we're going to be able to expect from Monica, is a full-on painting performance. Now we are checking out Angelina, and it looks like Angelina is starting to work on a portrait. We have some really beautiful proportions set out now, just the impression of the face at a 3/4 length. Back with Francesca now, and Francesca is layering on lots of color. Over with Christina, and Christina is going on with a palette knife onto the canvas, and really is laying down quite a lot of color. It actually looks like her canvas has some water on it as well, and she's using that to kind of guide the way the paint is gliding across the canvas. And getting this aerial view, I think we are looking at Giuseppe, and Giuseppe is laying down this gorgeous golden color. We have quite a steady kind of color field going on right now that he will be able to layer on top of. Giuseppe often describes his art as an escape. And he often is incorporating kind of surreal narrative elements within his pieces, and often will go for quite a bright color palette, but then accent it with these kind of darker characters. So looking forward to seeing how that comes together. And over with Nicola, and Nicola is back with Giuseppe here, and really working into this color field here, adding on some red, and really getting that depth of color. Over here with Monica and this gorgeous performance level painting here. And we can see that she's really dancing her hands across the canvas, and getting all of these really interesting abstract shapes out of the blending of the water and the paint, almost in like a spider webbing technique. Coming over to Angelina here, looking forward to checking in on this portrait. Lots has happened since we were able to see Monica's piece or Angelina's piece last. We now have this black emphasis surrounding the lines of the portrait that she had already established. So already a great sense of contrast coming from that piece. Looks like a great crowd tonight as well. We have really good energy in the room. People are moving, people are excited about the art, really coming up close to the artists and really experiencing the creative energy that is just radiating off of them in this live competition. Getting an aerial view almost of Christina Poe's piece here, and I feel like that is a really great way to appreciate this piece because Christina really specializes in creating these environments that incorporate a lot of perspective. And I think right now we're being treated to a sea scene, an abstract of a sea or an ocean scene that potentially these might be sails of sailboats. That's just my first initial guess. But again, very abstracted. We might just be looking into it to see what we want, you know? And a good level of contrast here from Nicola. I believe that Nicola is also doing a portrait. So we only have 2 portraits in this round. So I think that there's going to be a lot of comparison between the 2 of them. We are about 7 minutes into this round, our very first round of Art Battle in Genoa, Italy. And these artists are working super hard and putting on the performance of their life. To step up to the easel in Art Battle takes a lot of courage and creativity, and we are appreciating these guys so much. Getting a better look at this portrait here, and really the emotive quality that is happening here is just so interesting. We've got all of these really aggressive marks and this super high contrast way of painting and a heavy application. We've got some textural components as well. And the black on either side of the canvas is really helping to emphasize the character, and it's almost creating this environment that it's in. So we're blending the figurative and the abstract. Oh, an unexpected element there, getting that green on the canvas. Did not expect that at all, but it's a great emphasis point going into the hair of that character. And here we are back with Giuseppe, I think, and getting this color field now into a more layered component. My mistake. This is Nicola. And Nicola just continuing to layer on these cascading colors that are really creating an interesting level of gradient. Almost similar and reminds me of the way that you see oil on top of water. We're getting this kind of very subtle variation of shades. Over here with Monica, and Monica's still really working those performance muscles and layering what initially I thought was water, but now I'm starting to think is a pouring medium, and is a fluid, what we call a fluid medium, and that is helping the paint to slide around on the canvas, and also adding this really interesting textural component of this gloss. So looks like a lot of the paint that she had originally laid down in her first layer is now not moving, but she has added on additional components and additional layers that are still in movement. So we're getting that really interesting technique of the pieces of each component of this kind of chapter of this painting moving independently. Back with Angelina here and her portrait. I have to say I'm really enjoying the application of color here. We have a really interesting and unconventional palette going on, almost in a Fauvist kind of technique. And the Fauves were an art movement in Europe that was celebrating and breaking the rules as it related to colors, and especially within portrait painting. So we're definitely seeing that in Angelina's piece. And over here with Francesca, and Francesca is basically, seems like she's going totally abstract for this piece. And actually, I'm so excited that we're catching this moment. Looks like she is picking up paint with a straw and then blowing it onto the canvas. Some really unconventional techniques here, and really, really happy that we were able to catch that moment. I'm not sure that I've actually seen that at Art Battle before, so always love catching those interesting techniques as they take off. Over here with Christina, and I think that my initial thought of this being a seascape featuring some sailboats was correct, and it's so abstracted, but it's still communicating what it is in a representational way. And I think that Christina has done just such a fantastic job of keeping this very minimal in its representational aspects, but still striking that balance. Over with Giuseppe now, continuing on in this really, really intense portrait. Now that we're starting to see some of these character elements coming together, I'm wondering actually if this might be a Joker portrait, just with the green hair and that wide smile. We can see a little bit of purple in the shoulders there that is suggesting that purple suit, that signature Joker outfit. Over with Nicola, continuing into this abstracted color field here, and really, really working to achieve that depth of color. I'm wondering whether or not Nicola is going to be layering on top of it, or if he's going to be concentrated continually into working into this color field. Right now, he looks like he's just feathering on with a fan brush some of that super bright orange. So we'll have to see if that lands as an individual component, or if that's going to be blended into the canvas as well. Back over with Monica, and again getting these very theatrical moments with her dripping onto the canvas. We have just about 7 minutes remaining on the clock, so these guys are now more than halfway into our 20-minute round. So all of their works are very established, and they're committed to what they're painting, and really now it's about making it all come together. Voting is now open at artbattle.com/AB2431. Loving this technique from Angelina. We're really getting into the paint there. I love when an artist goes in with their hands, really giving us that kind of expressive moment, and creating that contrast of the more smooth application from the rest of the portrait from Angelina. Over here with Francesca, and Francesca is continuing to really embrace this kind of chaotic modality of painting, and really working with the media and allowing the painting to reveal what it needs next to her. She is painting in a way that is very intuitive, and is just all about blending and working with those materials. And we can see just how intense Angelina is going with her piece. We can see the rapid hand movement on her canvas there as she's bringing that energy into the rest of the canvas. And then as a contrast, visiting with Christina now, and we can see just the very carefully selected palette knife strokes here. Really a lot of control, and palette knife painting can be very intimidating because you kind of almost have to give up a sense of control because you're really working with the way that the media slides off of the knife. But the way that Christina is executing right now is very careful, very controlled as she's adding in those last pops of contrast to really emphasize the struts of the sailboat. Back with Giuseppe here, and now we have moved over to Nicola, and Nicola is continuing on in this celebration of color and just achieving so many levels of depth. This is very much reminding me of a sheet of oxidizing copper with that kind of orange going into the green tinge there. Back with Monica here, and Monica is doing something that I always love seeing at Art Battle, which is painting the sides of the canvas. Really just expresses such a finish and a professionalism to the painting when the sides are painted. It just really brings it home, and also kind of creates the perception of it being more of a completed piece than what the audience might expect in a live painting setting. With Angela now, and Angela has chosen to continue this bombastic painting movement of that she had achieved by painting with her hands into the whole rest of the canvas, and it's bringing such a unique energy. And now it's starting to crowd up to the face, and it's creating a little bit of tension there, which is an element that I think is going to lend itself well to the overall impression of the piece. Francesca is still working on the floor, which I'm hoping doesn't affect the crowd's ability to appreciate her work. We can see that she's also using gravity to her advantage by working on the floor so that the paint that she's laying down has as much of a chance as it can to really stick where it needs to. Back with Christina here, and Christina is just very carefully suggesting the reflection of the boats on the water. And again, keeping this piece very minimal, but at the same time, there's so much here. We have the impression of the clouds. We've got this absolutely gorgeous texture that's been created with the palette knife. Over here with Giuseppe now, and Giuseppe is really bringing that kind of punk energy into this piece by smashing some paint on the canvas, adding these dripping elements, bringing this into a little bit of kind of a street art energy. And we can see that we've also got some anarchy symbols as well. So really bringing the punch of attitude with this piece. Over with Nicola, and Nicola has decided to now start adding elements on top of this color field that he's been working on. And now we're in the only in the final 2 minutes for him to finish creating these additional elements that he is putting on his work. Definitely an exciting level of performance there. I think that the crowd is going to appreciate that element of surprise, but I do worry a little bit that it's such a short duration until the end of the round. And now we have Monica holding her piece aloft, showing off her hands as well, really working the crowd. And this piece is very interesting as well. We have kind of this chaotic celebration of material here. And now she's really working with that gravity element to have the paint continue to shift on the canvas. We're in our final minute now of our first round of Art Battle in Genoa. Looks like the crowd is having a great time circling around the easels. We can see that Angelina is actually shifting her canvas and has turned it on its side. And she's doing that lovely finishing move that I love so much of creating a wraparound of color on the canvas on the sides. Just that finishing element. So super exciting being in our final moments here. Make sure that you go to
Adesso tocca a voi, che dovete votare, ok?
So that marks the end of our first round of Art Battle in Genoa, Italy. A really fantastic first round for the event tonight. We have 6 fantastic artists who really created works that are so different and representative of so many different styles of work. I think it's going to be definitely a tough choice for the crowd to choose which artist they want to move forward. But that's your job. You got to go to artbattle.com/AB2431 and choose your favorite artist. And as you are contemplating the works that have been created, not only should you be thinking about which piece visually is the most arresting and the piece that you connect with the most and that you think is the most interesting or beautiful, but also think about the artist and how they performed that piece, because the top artists who are voted forward will be painting again in the final. So think about who you want to see paint again as well. All of the works created are also available for silent auction at that same link. So get in there and bid early and bid often. We will be back for round number 2 in just a few minutes with another 6 artists at the easels and another 20 minutes on the clock.